What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome back to another round, JS. I'm your host, Jay, and tonight we're here again with Preparing for Love. So, before we get to all the what's, what nots, and everything, come on in, drop me some hearts in the chat if you're here, because I would like you guys to participate. You guys leave your comments and everything in the chat and participate in tonight's episode of Preparing for Love. Tonight, we're going to have like a little debate style, but we keep it cute over here, no arguing and nothing like that. We'll just figure out the differences between what women think and what men think. And, we have some special guests coming through, as always, people from Ready to Love will be here. And we're going to do this game. I just opened this box. I'm trying to shuffle the deck real quick. We're going to do this game in honor of tonight's conversation cards. So we're going to use these as our questionnaires. I'm not making up anything tonight. We're going to use this because I find these questions to be really nice and things. So I'm just shuffling the deck real quick. And as I do this, I'm going to bring my first guest up tonight. While you guys are here, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, hit the notification bell for more updates on all our live discussions that we like to have with one another, getting to know each side of the spectrum as far as males and females are concerned. And if you guys don't like the term women or men are concerned. So please come on in, hit the like button, and let me get my guests up here. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, Stacy. Let me change this up. Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's going on?
Tyrone.
What's up, Stacy?
This will be a good conversation. Hopefully we get another man out here to balance it out, but Tyrone knows how to hold his own.
I'm good. It's another Saturday, right?
This is true. He does tend to have a good logic on holding the men accountable, so I can assume that he will be pretty good at answering these questions pretty safely for the men. So happy Saturday to you both as well. Thank you for joining me. I'm just getting the decks shuffled up so we can have I'm not these questions are not mine tonight. These are not my questions. These questions are pre-made by tonight's conversation cards. So
what did I walk into?
We're going to have a little good debate. Again, these are brought to us by tonight's conversation cards. So these questions are not devised by me. And I shuffled the deck this time, so I don't even know what we're going to pull up. All right.
You ain't going to go to that one episode where that deck was set, huh?
Wow, that's a good one.
We're going there already, huh, Stacey?
Why y'all play with me?
Stacey turned in early today.
What episode was that?
I don't know. I'm sure it was right after your exit.
Oh.
Ooh.
It was right after your exit, but definitely not after your absence. Let's say that.
Right.
Well, I should have brought my umbrella.
I know. Let's get a hat on.
Let's go. Too easy.
All right. First question. A woman is married to a man who is not her child's biological father. He leaves because she will not let him discipline the child. Who is wrong? And I want y'all to know. You get that over there. This is literally what this says.
Yeah. There's some factors that come into play. But if you're my wife, you know what I mean? You can discipline the child, but it also depends on what the child did, how old is the child, how you plan on disciplining the child.
Discipline.
You know what I mean? You're not going to just beat my child. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if they're being rude or if they're being, ignorant towards you, then you got to say something at a minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that.
Yeah.
And so the part of that question is the other person. So in your case, the wife leaves because she can't discipline the child. Do you feel like she's wrong?
I don't think that's the reason that she leaves.
Nah. I mean, that must be a badass kid. You know what I mean? And the other dude, I mean, the parent got to be missing something, you know?
Yeah, like missing in action.
Yeah. For her to just leave, that means something has gone crazy. Like something went overboard. You know, there's some conversations that ain't been had. There's some communication, you know, that ain't been taking place. You know, for her to leave over disciplining a child. Come on.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What you think, Stace?
Well, here's the thing. I have daughters. I mean, my eldest child is 21. He's a son. And I mean, so he's a non-factor. My children are 14 and 9. So they're very well behaved and they're in their skin. So I really just couldn't imagine being in that situation. However, I mean, if your whole purpose is to leave based on how you can't channel your discipline through the child, I would ask questions about that person in general. Like, it would probably be better off that they're leaving, because if they have so much animus towards your child where it's like make or break because they can't put hands on your kid, I mean, because I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, because there's several ways to discipline a child.
Right.
So, I mean, if it's that serious where the other parent's like, okay, we can't do a timeout. No, we can't take away social media. No, we can't do this. I mean, it seems like the child would be, you know, a terror to everyone in the household. But I mean, I couldn't even imagine it getting that far without a parent, you know, the biological parent intervening.
I definitely agree with you both. It would depend on a lot, how old my child is, how long you've been in my life, what your disciplinary style is towards my child, and as if my child is being very rude and you know, because it's a thing. If my child is very disrespectful to you, I would have been jumped in myself.
Right.
You know, I don't. That's just me. I don't raise my child where it's a need for anybody else other than me and her father really to discipline her. You know, but that's me. But I understand if she was younger and I had been with somebody during her early developmental stages, I would probably give some leniency, but I have a different way of disciplining my child as she goes along. We talk. And, you know, the disappointment of her letting me down hurts her more than a physical discipline. Yeah. Let me see. I got 2 more people in the background. Let me grab them up on here. Hey, I was watching you get ready in the back. I let you get your time. Hey.
What's up?
Oh, is that guy that I can never figure out, like, who's Fernando? Is that him?
Come on, Stacy. Don't do that to me, sweetheart. Don't do me like that, baby. Don't do me like that.
Is that you? Do I finally get to see who this mysterious guy is? Damn.
You got it now. You got it now.
Yeah.
How you been, Stace? How you been?
I'm good.
Looking good, I see.
Thank you.
Courtney already know. Courtney already know, Courtney.
What's going on?
Hi, babe. How are you?
I'm good. I'm loving the hair, sweetheart. Loving the hair.
You know.
We missed you last night. You hear me?
I know. Come on, you know. I never miss a DC social event. I was very unhappy I was not there.
I understand.
I was definitely not happy I was there.
It was thick in there last night. It was thick.
I heard. But you know, ain't no party without CC party. So
facts. It was a good time.
There was a little love connection going on. I had to take us all off real quick.
CC party, honey.
Listen, it's not a party unless Cece's there. So, anyways, what we talking about, y'all? What we talking about?
Oh, Lord. So
our first question.
People already.
Yep, we talking about crazy people already. So we doing the questions based off of tonight's conversation cards, and our first question applies to you both because you both have our parents. And so, let me mute you for a second, Fernando, because I know your family getting it in. Hold on. So the question is, a woman, and in your in your case, Fernando, a man, married to their spouse who is not their child's biological parent. They leave because they will not be able to discipline the child the way they want to. So basically, who is wrong in this case?
So the question is the biological parent wrong for not allowing the non-biological parent to punish the child, or is the
Yeah.
person walking away wrong?
Yeah.
I would say if the biological parent wants that other person to step in and be a parent to that child, then they should be able to be a parent in all aspects of it. So if part of that includes being disciplined, then they should have the authority to discipline them. Now, I would tell you this. I have never laid a hand on my child before. I don't believe in spanking children and beating children, being physical on children. I feel like a child can be taught and be trained and be told things and be disciplined and learn without having to use physical, be physical with them. So if a person chooses to be physical with them, then I would have a problem with that. And they got to go because I got a problem with it. Because they're wrong for disciplining my child in that manner. But if you want to talk to my child, you want to punish my child, put them, however you need to do to get them, let them know they're wrong. You want to talk to them sternly, what you need to do to discipline them, but don't put a hand on my child. Simple as that.
I respect that. I respect that. Discipline the way I do. I got that. CC, what you say?
I think when you get into relationships, I think it's important for you to talk about all aspects of a relationship. And we're talking about everything from living together, having kids together, dating, children, you bringing children in, y'all having children together. I think that's important to talk about, as well as discipline. If you guys are not on the same page as far as discipline goes, it's not going to work. And it's one of those things where it's a forced situation. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you want to discipline one way and the other person feels like they want to discipline another way, that not only is a barrier, but it's going to make you as adults, as husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, argue and fight often. Me personally, if that was me in that situation and the person that I'm with wants to discipline my kids and I have a different way of discipline, like for example, Fernando said, I'm not putting my hands on my kids. But let's say my husband or my partner is like, no, this is the way I was raised, this is the way I'm doing things, then we're not equally yoked. I don't think it's important to like force that. We can just agree to disagree. You got to find somebody that you mesh with. And if you don't mesh with them, it's like a magnet. You ever put a magnet together and it just works? If you flip the magnet over and you're trying to push it together, it doesn't click. So I feel like that's the way it is with the relationship. Like you're trying to force something that doesn't work, and children are so delicate and fragile. So don't try to like force something. I don't play by my kids. So if I tell you this is how it's going and a man comes into my life and wants to do things his way, then we're not going to work. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Stacey, I want to ask a further follow-up question, because you do have multiple, with yours, is there a different disciplinary style that you had to go through with each child?
For me, well, we're a pretty verbal family. Like we talk a lot and we talk through a lot. Like it's social media age. If one of my kids does something, it's like death if I take away their phones. But they're pretty respectful, and I think it's all in like how you parent them. And it's just been very important for me. And also, I have huge age gaps in between my kids. So I'm able to connect with them like they're an only child on their levels. So like we have like open communication. If something's bothering them, or, if I just have a bad day and I just come off wrong, I'm not too grown to apologize and to meet them where they are. Like these are our kids and we're nurturing them. But, at some point they got to grow off and be in the world. And I don't want my children in the world with anger issues and don't know how to control or funnel, their when they're upset, using violence or, like all that. So I totally, discipline my kids differently. Like when they were younger, maybe, you might pop them, like they're messing with an outlet or something like that. But, as they've gotten older, I don't have to do any of that.
I can remember.
With me, I think Tyron, I'm not sure what Fernando has, but I know Courtney has a little boy. But for me, it's very important for me that I don't normalize hitting, especially with these little girls, because I think they'll go into relationships, and if they met the wrong guy, it would
Right.
seem love or normal to them. So I've really been very stringent about my rules. And even when I was married, our agreement was I'm the primary disciplinarian of our kids because, sometimes men, you have a little bass in your voice and your message isn't taken the right way and it causes other problems. So like from the jump, I was always the disciplinarian and I just chose to do so like through different methods of parenting.
Nice. I like that. It was so funny. I was thinking, having a recall. I don't know if you guys know what style you guys worked best for you guys as growing up as a disciplinary style, but mine's was the look, because you kind of already knew that they had like the wooden spoon or somewhere in their purse or something like this.
I'll go get a spoon and sit on a table. Do I ever have to use it? No.
And then as I got older, it was punishment. Take away something I really love. Took away sports.
Yeah.
And that worked for me or whatever.
Well,
but you spank me, I'm back outside. I'm like, okay, cool.
See, that works for you, but for me, like, my kids are athletes and I just never believed in taking away, like, punishing them through sports. I punished them through like some of their other activities, but I felt like it was important for me to teach them to be there for their teammates and their team members. And I mean, I know the contrary viewpoint would be look at how your lack of presence affects the team. But I wanted them to also know, hey, you are obligated to these people. And regardless of what goes on in the home and with you as a person, like what you do in your personal life shouldn't come as a punishment to your teammates. So I'm a very like team oriented person. So like I said, how I see things and how I do things with my children are a little different. And I'm not saying that any way is right or wrong.
Right. No, nobody's saying that. Yeah. There's no right. It's your child, your way of doing it. It is what it is. Do you guys know what style that you guys were more effective for you growing up?
I got whipped.
Yeah, I didn't really much have a choice.
I had to go.
I got beaten.
And what's crazy? Like I lived by all of my family. So like any one of my aunts or uncles or grandparents, spanked me. But, I just think that we're a different society than what we were then. So sometimes the traditional methods just aren't really, really useful now.
Yeah, true.
Go ahead, Ty. I mean, interrupt you, bro.
No, it's cool. I was saying I really didn't have a choice. We definitely got beat. My parents were very strict, but it was more of, what you did wrong, therefore you know why you're getting a beating, right? So it all made sense. I mean, we got kicked off the basketball team because we didn't wash the dishes, right? Like that's how bad it was. There was a strict regimen, like to the point where we had to dry the dishes and we had to fold this rag and leave it on top of the sink when we're done. If we forget to fold a rag, my father would wait till like 1 a.m. just to wake us up and tell us to come fold his rag. Like it didn't make sense, but it made sense, but it didn't make sense. Like me, myself, like I've never had to put hands on my daughter. I never will. I wouldn't let no one else put hands on her. Every now and then, it's rare, but I use the, I'm disappointed technique, and that like kills her. For her, for to hear me say that I'm disappointed in her, but I'd have to be like really, really upset at that point. But other than that, nah.
Yeah.
If you want to leave off of discipline or lack of discipline without having a conversation, communication, then deuces.
Anybody else before we go on to the next question?
I didn't get beat as a kid, so I wouldn't beat my child. My father was stern with me. He's actually here, of course, but he would say like, he would make his point, and let me say my point, then he say case closed, and that's it, and we let it go, and we move on. And he also let me know like, if he was disappointed in something, if he was disappointed in me or upset with me, he'll let me know. I would get put on punishment. I'll get my games taken away. I couldn't go outside. And like what Stacey was saying, he would never take sports away from me because it would affect the team as well as affect myself and my future growth and my opportunity to come from it. So he never kept sports away from me, but anything that was like extracurricular with my friends and stuff like that, he would take it away from me if I ever was in trouble. And that worked for me. I had to you got to put hands on me to let me know I'm wrong. I can understand, I can comprehend through verbal communication.
So you see, you good?
I mean, listen, I was bad. Like I was bad. Like I was really bad. I gave my mom the hardest time growing up, and I still try to make it up to her to this day. I did everything wrong in the book. I didn't listen. I definitely talked back. Not something I'm proud of, but I thought I was grown. So I definitely got a lot of beatings. My mom used to just grab whatever was close. She didn't make me go get it. Whatever was close, a remote. If we were in the kitchen, it was a spatula. It was whatever the case was. So definitely not something I'm proud about. As far as like discipline, I feel like every parent is entitled to discipline their child, whatever works best for them. I'm sorry, some kids need a butt whooping. Might not be your kids, might not be your friends' kids, it might be the next person's kids. Some kids you can get through to them verbally. Some kids you can get through to them by taking away, an activity or a sport or a Game Boy or whatever. I feel like as a parent, you're just doing the best you can, and can't nobody tell you how to parent your kids better than you. So do what works for you. You can't tell me how to parent my child and make me feel bad. So
right. Tyrone, you put this in the chat, and I had to laugh because my daddy grew up in this. And so my cousin, the boys in my family had to go through this. Like, if they got in trouble, all the uncles was coming to get them. and our thing was, if you got in trouble in the community, you would possibly get a whooping from your neighbor, and then have to get another one when you got home because they done told your parents. So yeah, it was rough growing up, but we all have kind of come to the consensus now. We don't want that for our children, so we try to talk them out of a lot of stuff. But yes. Okay, next question. This is a pretty good one. A woman's best friend is a chronic cheater. Her significant other feels uncomfortable and doesn't want them going out together. Is he unreasonable? So your best friend, ladies, is a chronic cheater, and your man don't want you going out with them, hanging out with that person. Is he unreasonable?
I want Tyrone to go first. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, back in the day, I probably would have thought differently. But the way I feel now, you're either going to have confidence in your mate or you're not. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter who she with. She could be with, a bunch of thotties, but it shouldn't matter. She could be in a room with 100 men, and it shouldn't matter, right? If you don't trust her with her best friend, then you're not going to trust her anywhere else. So that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando, like, let's see the guys first.
I was going to say that, Fernando.
Sure.
See,
No
look,
problem.
we staring at the screen like they know we're all looking at them. Yeah, eyes on y'all.
Go ahead.
I've been through it before. My ex, not my ex, but somebody I dated before in the past, they had friends that would go out, and that friend would go out with them, but not leave with them. They would leave with whoever. And it made me real uncomfortable. Like, if your friend leaves with anybody, you can do the same thing. But to Tyrone's case, I have to know my person I'm dealing with. I have to know my who I'm dealing with, like how they are. If you can trust them, you know that they're able to compose themselves. They're not going to act like their friends act. They're not going to be influenced by their friends. You should be fine. You trust that she's going to come back home to you. You trust that she's going to, not get drunk. She's not going to get sloppy. She's not going to act a fool. You should trust her to also not to step out or cheat on you, because her friends, those are her friends. That's what they deal with. That's who they are. They're not your girl. As long as your girl is loyal to you, everything should be fine. You should be able to let her go out and do what she needs to do, and trust that she comes back home to you, the same way she left.
I have a question for the guys.
Sure.
Really quick before we get to me and Stacey. Y'all know that saying, birds of a feather.
I was thinking that.
Flock together. How does that affect, when they say birds of a feather flock together, that's a very true statement. Okay, right? So how do we apply that to this question? Like, how do we apply that to this question when it comes to women that you are dating?
I mean, you can just reverse it then. Like, my dudes is hoes, but that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? So if I want you to trust me, then I'm gonna have to trust you. And sometimes that statement is true, And sometimes it's not. In my case, it's not.
Why are you smiling so hard?
I know.
Yeah,
He's
my
like,
case
I'm
is not.
reformed.
You know?
I forgot. This is the new Tyrone. I forgot.
Right. He like, I'm reformed now. I've been delivered.
Now, for myself, I've definitely, like I said, I didn't like my girl going out with certain friends because of how they were, and there may have been a time where my friend that I was dating may have been more similar to like her friends. She might have been on that thotty level at that time, but when she found her man, she stopped being a thot. She got serious. Come on, we grown here. We grown.
Not you stopped being a thot.
If you ain't had a phase before, I had a phase before. I keep it 100. So, they go through their phases, and then when you find love or somebody that's worth the time for you to change, you evolve. You don't be the way you used to be before. That's how the person you're dating, that's what they should make you do. They should make you be better and do better. When you find somebody that's worth it, you act better. And that's what I hope my girl will be doing. Now, she may still be around a flock of thotties, but she no longer is on that status. You know what I mean? She didn't upgrade it. So that's my viewpoint.
Here's my follow-up question to it. What is y'all behavior while she's out? Are you calling her constantly? You checking in? Or are you just going to let her be free and she comes home and she comes to?
Tyrone gonna pop up.
No, I mean, the younger me would have like long nights of worrying and probably, not being able to sleep well until she home. But now I don't spend energy worrying about that stuff. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna eventually find out about it. So I don't stress about it.
I think for me, when it comes to a situation like that, I have dated a guy recently where he was involved with people where I didn't like how they were moving, and it definitely put a damper and a block in our relationship, because I kind of similar to what the guys are saying, you got to stand on your own too. If they're moving that way, that don't mean you got to move that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're going to this after party. I'm just hanging with my boys. I'm just having fun with my boys. Your boys are single. You're not. Take your ass home. You not them. You don't have to convince me and make it seem like I'm insecure. And it's also kind of a form of narcissism when you let your feelings known and they try to place the blame on you. But I definitely think you can hang out with whoever you want to. My girls are doing them. I don't know who my girls are. All my girls are dating, how they're moving through the city, but you got to conduct yourself how you conduct yourself. I do think birds of a feather flock together is a term that is used for certain situations, but not every single one. You just got to make sure you stand on your own too. That's it. If you're your own person, you move accordingly. If you're in a relationship, maybe you should, I'm not just saying hypothetically speaking, maybe you shouldn't be at the after hours. Maybe you shouldn't go on double dates and just play the wing woman. And honey, I'm just playing the wing woman. I'm just trying to be there for my girl. Probably shouldn't put yourself in that situation. Probably shouldn't be going out to Miami on Memorial Day weekend and staying in guys' hotels. Like, I'm just saying, put yourself in a situation where you're conducting yourself as a woman in a relationship that has respect for your man. That's it. And when you don't have respect to your man, we outside. I'm doing me. That's it.
Summer, year round.
Well, I feel like, we've all had friends that were in different phases in their lives. I think the things that make our friends aren't like who they're hooking up with, but like who they are as people. Like I spent a large part of my life being with one person and married and all that shit. So, and during that time, I had friends that were living their best lives, that were single, that were in different phases. And when we went out, we went out. I think more importantly, more than your partner, I think that my friends, our friend circles have a level of respect for us that, they don't even introduce us to anything that would jeopardize our relationships or our future or anything like that, like honestly speaking. And then like for me, like, I guess it's like, like I was married to an athlete. So I knew the perception of athletes and, I was introduced to, people would put stuff on me, like put insecure thoughts that they had, about my spouse or his circle. And they would try to put that on me, like as if it would make me insecure. Well, I was secure in my partner and my marriage at the time. So I didn't, I never made it a hardship for him with who he hung with, or when he went out, or his guy time, based on what the stereotype is. I think that people sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people cheat when you push them into damn cheating. Like, why am I going to constantly think that, or make you think that, one, I'm insecure, where you're going to disrespect me and be like, well, I want an independent, strong woman. Or why would I force you in a situation to be like, well, I mean, she think I'm cheating anyway, so she didn't find out about this little hee-haw. You know what I mean? So for me, I just I've never been in a situation where when me and my girls are out, like even to this day, like I have a couple of my best friends are married. Their husbands don't care when we go out. They know we're going to be out late. They know we're going to be doing the most. Their husbands never give them grief about being out, because at the same time, the husbands and, the ladies, we all have a brother-sister relationship. So they know our character, and they know that we wouldn't even dream of introducing their spouses, who are our best friends, into no bullshit. You know what I mean? So right. I think it just comes with having a friend circle that's built on mutual respect and friend goals. I wouldn't want to see my friend going through a situation because of me, because her partner thought that because I'm single and I'm out here living my best life, I'm introducing her to craziness. That's foolery for me. I would never do that. And my friends would never put me in a situation that would jeopardize what I got going on either.
That part.
But I'm all for, I don't think we should shame our whole friends. If you are, no. Really,
I know.
Men have been able to own hold'em for centuries. Women, we've been taught that it is such a shameful thing. It's nothing wrong with owning your sexuality and living your best life. I feel like I miss all of my 20s. And seriously, since I've been single, I haven't lived my best hold'em life. But I don't have nothing against it for any of the ladies or men that do. If you want to be in charge of your sexuality and you got that good, you got that splash, then baby, splash it. Ain't nobody mad at you.
Listen, if I wasn't so scared of STDs and all that, it was a fun time, okay? But I can't be out here like that. I'm too scary.
Humans are not naturally monogamous.
But I say it like this: my friendship is not based off of her bedroom life. So I'm not worried about what she's doing in her relationship outside of what she comes to tell me about or whatnot. And that doesn't make my bedroom life hers either. So just because she's out cheating and all that doesn't mean that I'm going to be out cheating. And if you don't trust me by how I carry myself with you, then you probably don't need to be with me. Because everything I'm showing you is showing you my loyalty and all that stuff. And if you can't do it,
SNG asked about what about your cheating friends? My response to that is, I love my friends and I love their partners and their relationships. But at the end of the day, people tell us what they want to tell us. You really don't know what people have going on in their personal relationships, their pillow talk, their intimate moments, their agreements, their disagreements. We really don't know. So it's not my place to be one way or another regarding cheating friends. I don't know if that's an agreement between them and their spouse. I don't know what they're have going on with their spouse in that regard. But I'm not going to introduce them to anybody. I'm not going to be the one to usher the hoes into the relationship.
Let my cheating friend cheat in peace.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know who you're cheating.
And don't give me any of the pieces. I don't want because Stacey's kind of blunt about stuff, and I don't want to be like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just don't bring none of your pieces over to my house so they know where I live, so they get all up in them.
Them Reese's pieces, I don't eat them.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know who your cheating friends are, right? And you know who your faithful friends are. A guy's trip with your cheating friends and a guy's trip with your faithful friends is totally different. I've been in those situations where You know, my ex's best friend was single like the whole time she was single, but she got a few of the homies under her belt, and whenever we would go out, the single friend would always get called the VIP or whatever, and she'd be like, "Hey, I gotta go support my girl, my best friend." I'd be like, "All right, I ain't gonna say that shit was easy, right? But you gotta have faith in what you have, and then you have to have, you know, you got to be secure in yourself as well. You know, I used to be like, don't come back to me with this goddamn drink. I don't want no other nigga drink.
Okay, before I
But
get
it's
into
cool.
this part right
All right.
here that the Sosa got, there's a personal question that is for you, Tyrone, which is this. So are you down for poly relationships? That's what they want to know.
You
That's
about
what
that
the question
polyamorous
is.
life, tie.
Tie.
You for them pods?
The more the merrier.
Stop spreading the love.
I'll just say I am not unfamiliar and just leave
All
it
right.
at that.
So
Okay.
he said he gonna lay it low and spread it wide, baby. or he has.
So I think
he's familiar with it.
Right. It was a past part of my life at one point, and I would like not talk about that right now. Thank you. Moving on. No, that's what Tyrone on. So I believe this would be for us ladies. Can your cheating friend be trusted? I guess around our men. I guess that's where we're going with this one. Would you trust your cheating friend around our?
We gotta break that down. Are they cheating? Your cheating friend, are they cheating with their man? So you don't want to bring them around your man? Is that what it's saying?
I think that's where she is going with this.
Do you trust your cheating friend around your man?
Around your man.
I mean, Courtney, Cece, we know we have, I mean, guys, I'm sure it's the same for you. We have different levels of friends. We have our intimate, our close circle. We have different levels. It's a certain level that ain't coming around.
It's the ho level that's not coming around because she for the streets.
When we get to the level totem,
yes, she can't come around. The cheating friend might just have a little thing.
You know the friends, you know the friends that are just like the ones that Stacey are talking about, because like when you see them, okay, for example, perfect example. I have a girlfriend, lives in DC. She is the type of person, if you bring your man out, she gonna be extra flirty and little shoulder rub, little, long hug, like all of that stuff. That's the friend you gotta watch out for. It's like, hey girl, you're doing a little too much.
That's also the friend. That's also the associate that's secretly envious, that's secretly. So it's like different people. Like you have some people that's fun to go out with, and that's who you go out with. That's who you don't go home with them. Like you don't bring them into your personal life like that. I mean
we're gonna take a shot together. That's about it.
Right.
That's what starts
when you
out. Let me rephrase this. It's not the whole friend, it's the friend with no boundaries.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can have a whole friend. You can have a whole friend that has boundaries and she knows she's respectful of things, but she just does her thing.
No, because we use the term friend so loosely. None of my girls would ever, I can say this from now until forever. None of my best friends, my closest circle, none of them would ever do any foolery like that. They are morals and we got a whole code. Now, when you get to the different levels of who you associate with, who's like your friend, hey friend, the FRENNN, that's a different level. So I'm just saying. And then you got to be woman and adult and mature enough to recognize that sometimes what's the thing, like nobody loves ever hurts you, and nobody that hurts you is ever a stranger. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like those people that's never a stranger, they just okay with you, that's secretly, looking at you, they really envious and they have alternate reasons of being associated with you. Those are the ones. I mean, they ain't clothes, girl, but they some wolves.
Yeah. That there's some out there. I've encountered a few.
I'll tell you the same applies for men, because if I could tell you how many guys that not like how many, because the list ain't that damn long, but if I can tell you how many, guys who I've conversed with, like we've hung out, we've kicked it, once we're done kicking it, or sometimes they done tried to like slide in a DM or do some cutesy shit. It's unreal. Like, they be worried about the women, but it's really y'all homies, and that be like y'all homies. That's the bros.
Yeah. Now the men do have that problem a little bit more than women, because we won't keep that woman too close to us. She'll probably be like in our circle, but she won't be hanging at our house and all this stuff like that. Men will have friends that are really hang with them, be boys with them, tell secrets to them, do all these things, but then as soon as they go away, they'll be at their girl.
Like, literally.
And you're trying to switch on. Yeah.
So many different guys who I thought was like a bro to my ex. I was like, what? Like, for me, like, I can't even stand this dude. I can't stand my ex. You know what I mean? Like, it's no love at all. And I still wouldn't do you like that, because this is tomfoolery right here. Like, really? Like, the whole time I'm invited, y'all coming over for family meals and stuff, I didn't even know y'all was side-eyeing me. Like, that be the foolery. That's the foolery.
I can say, I remember when I used to be out with my girl, and these ain't my best friends, but they're friends, associates. I would hate to go to the bathroom. I knew as soon as I walked away, they're going to walk up on her. It never failed. And I used to tell her, like, yo, I'm telling you, as soon as I walk away, the guy right there going to holler at you. I'm telling you. She's like, he ain't looking at me. Every time I came back, then what happened? One or two guys come talk to her. Try to get a number. Try to say something real slick. Is that your man? Y'all, everything good with y'all, whatever. They hawks. They ready for opportunity. So I knew what I'm talking about. It's men and women you got to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we have different levels. We have like code as well. Like my friends, my fellas, my Spartans would never. But it all depends on like what we introduce.
She's like, where the Spartans at?
It's what we introduce her as, right? Like, if we introduce her like as my lady, as my wife, then they know. Another thing is, like, we're not gonna bring her around the fellas like if we ain't never smashed yet. Do you know what I mean? Because that means she technically fair game. We all know. We all learned the hard way at one point.
Are they asking you, right? Hey, you hit that yet? That's what they ask you.
I mean, you can tell by the way we introduce, if we have or not. You know what I mean? You could tell, like, if I introduce her, then chances are, we not friends. We're not buddies. I didn't just meet her 2 days ago, And they know. They wouldn't cross that line because we have to throw hands. If like blatant disrespect, we gotta just throw hands.
But I'll also say this, like, as for me, like, if I knew, like, say Courtney came to Houston and she had her little boo with her, right? And we normally be turning up or whatever, and one of the girls that might hang out a fun time, like our fun time friends around, and I know she might be kind of slick sometimes. I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't even invite her if I knew people's boos were going to be there. Like, let's start there. 2, if I saw something, I'd be like, all right, now, Courtney, look, right here, look.
Give the heads up, yeah.
I'll give you a heads up, because I think it's all about respecting our people. And what's 2022? Maintaining our peace, respecting our peace, maintaining our peace. So I don't want to be in the middle of no triangle as the one that introduced to the one that did something to somebody, man. No. Keep me out of it.
You know what, though? I think it's crazy because Ty just said if we're introducing them but we didn't smash, it's fair game. For me and my girls, like, the minute you tell me you like somebody or you think he's cute, I'm stepping back. Like, that's you, sis. That's all you. That's all you.
Look, Courtney, that's fair. But I've had situations with friends where, okay, like, like when a guy comes over and he might just be being friendly to all of us, and we're all single, and then he might slide me his number and we kick it, and then a girl's like, oh, well, I liked him. Well, how am I supposed to know, girl?
Oh, that's different. That's different.
Like,
That's different.
all of this is fair game. Like,
But if you get his number though, if you get his number, if y'all hung out one time, y'all went on one date, to me, I don't do leftovers.
He's yours.
But in Stacey's situation, yes, for sure. It's all fair game if you just meet somebody, but like, nah, I'm not. There is 50 million men in this world.
I need like
you might know.
Tell me this is the one you got your eye on, because look, I don't know. Hell, and plus my little silly self, I just be being friendly with everybody anyway. So I don't really be paying attention at all. So if the guy that gave you his number and me his number, I wasn't even paying attention enough to know he gave anybody. I didn't even know. I mean, that ain't to sound sketchy, but really, I be like, I guess y'all we gonna have to hang out so y'all can see. Like, I really be like, just talking to people.
I was
not paying attention to shit.
Listen. When I was in Houston, you were in DC.
We gotta fix this.
So, like, another few things with the fellas. Like, if we bring her around and we haven't smashed, that's us letting the other guys know that she is technically fair game. What happened is, like, they'll ask us how we feel about her, and then we have to be honest at how we feel, because you can't, deny that, and then a dude end up smashing later and then get mad at him. You know what I mean? Because you had the opportunity to tell him how you feel. So another thing that we do is, like, we always say, if she's gonna give it to you, then take it, right? So my fellas that take it, I know they're not my fellas, right? But because she gave it away, I have to accept that. My fellas, at a minimum, would at least come back and tell me, be like, yo, bro, like, she trying to throw it at me. What you want me to do? And then I got to make a decision from there. Like, my Spartans would never.
It's funny, Tyrone, you say that, and it's funny that you say that, Tyrone, and I say this because that's the thing that my dad said back. He used to say back in the day with him and his boys. It's not that he would try to test the woman on purpose, but if she was throwing it at him, he like, oh, I'll take it, and then I'll go tell my boy, be like, hey, if she giving it to me, she gonna give it to anybody else on the street. I'm your closest people. Like, she not the one for you or whatever. So it's like, okay, I know it's true that you saying it. Because my dad used to say some stuff like that. I'd be looking at him like, what? Y'all crazy. But hey, Fernando, you were shaking your head at first. What, you had some thoughts?
Whoa, see, baby.
Listen, I heard about
I'm looking for love. I had a whole phase. Many
Apparently, Oprah Winfrey thinks otherwise.
It's all good. Anyway, I would not bring my girl around or somebody interested in. I want to bring them around my fellas with the opportunity of them possibly smashing her. So there would be no, I ain't smashed yet, so try your luck. Like, no, nigga, she walked in with me, she mine. You know what I mean? I don't own her, but she with me tonight at least. So when we leave here, we leave together. So don't get her number, don't holler at her, none of that. You know what I mean? Y'all want to chit chat, he, that's cool, but keep it respectful. Because we rolled in together. Now, I have female friends. I have plenty of female friends. Trust me, plenty of female friends. We go out together. I let everybody know, oh, no, we're not together. That's the homie. Then, yes, Tyrone, open the door for whatever you want to do, because me just kicking it. We just cool.
True. I did say it's how you introduce.
Correct. Facts. So that's all I was trying to say. I thought it was like one of his main joints or somebody you're interested in. I ain't playing that game. I'm interested in her. Don't look at her like that. Like, tell me her ass is fat, but that's it. Don't be staring at her.
But what if her thing is banging? They gonna look.
That's what I'm saying. They can do that. They can give a thumbs up.
You can look.
Fernando and Tyrone. So have y'all ever been in a situation where y'all have like smashed a homie's girl?
Oh, yeah. And bought her a Slurpee.
Told you what I tell you about him. He demon time. Did I?
I'm dead.
My damn teammate. We missed practice, so I had to knock out real quick.
I'm about to make some phone calls. You know I know about you. I'm about to make some phone calls about you.
Different teams. It wasn't on his team.
Done.
Come on, Ty. You did it too, Ty. Come on.
Tyrone is
I'm gonna respectfully not. Yes, we know the answer is yes.
Yeah, we had a conversation. I mean, if she was like my friend's lady, then no. But one of the stable, yeah. We being honest, yes.
It wasn't his main; it was his play thing. So,
yeah. We normally don't, though. We normally let all the fellas keep their own stable unless, he put it out there.
She's a free agent. She a free agent. Is she a free agent?
Yeah, like you gotta keep your own.
Out here, CC.
Yeah. You gotta keep your own team. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm so disappointed.
Keep your own team. Since we being honest, like you
no
draft
judgment,
your own
no
team.
judgment, no judgment.
You have a training camp for your team. You know what I mean? Spring training, like that's your team. You don't mess.
She's still scouting. She's still scouting.
With other people's team. That's.
Is she actually signed to the team, or she'll walk on? That all plays.
Yeah, there's a term for that right now in the NBA. I can't even think of it right now. It's called tampering. Yeah, it's called tampering.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say like the pandemic exception, like the hardship.
No, like if you're trying to get someone from someone else's team to be on your team,
it's tampering.
That's tampering. Yeah.
But what if you pulling them up from the D League? Then that's that pandemic stuff where you got this exception because somebody's out sick. So I got to bring somebody up.
In the end, they all got to do what's best for them. In the end, you know what I mean. So if they, they feel that they could play for a championship over here, they're gonna switch teams.
And if you're a good coach, you can control your team. If your players leaving, whose fault is that? Come on,
I had no problem switching teams when necessary.
Period. I'm gonna play for the right coach every time.
And glad I did.
I'm gonna play for the coach that's gonna give me playing time.
I'm with the winning team.
I'm only a franchise player if I'm playing. I'm only the franchise player. Put me in, coach. You already know what it's gonna be.
But I feel like it's different when you're single, though. Like when you're single. If you're an unsigned free agent, it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just playing pickup ball now.
You are a franchise player. You just unsigned. You're trying to figure out what's going on, where you want to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. Right.
But you wouldn't have, you wouldn't be trying to get playing time with two coaches in the same conference.
Says who?
You know what I mean?
Especially if one of the coaches piss you off. Especially if one of the coaches piss you off and reneged on some of your playing time. I'm gonna show you whether you know or not.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, every player is different.
Okay,
what is this? Missy's a traded. It's Missy's a traded.
Play with it.
He said, "Listen." He said, "I'll have. You can't have two coaches."
No. Every player is different. You know what I mean? Every player is different. You got some players that like to stay with one team. And
you got some coaches that are different. You got defense. You got offense. You got massage therapist coaches. You got many coaches for
everything. And sometimes
it's like a football team. All these coaches.
You might be loyal to the coach, but upper management is calling the plays. The GM calling the plays, baby.
And guess what? We're gonna find another coach.
Some coaches can't be in control of who they sign and re-sign. You talking?
You're right. There are some roles.
Talk sports to me, baby.
You're right.
Only a
there are some roles, players out there. There's players that think they're all stars and really not, and vice versa.
Well, as for me and Cece and Jay, we going to the Olympics, baby. So
period. Ring me, baby.
All rings. I'm getting nothing but gold. Nothing but gold.
Technically, the Olympics is an amateur event, but okay.
Just because you gotta go now.
It may be an amateur event, but it's for the most highly skilled athletes in
the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Whose man is this?
So it's like we're volunteering, but we get sponsorship. What are you talking about?
I'll let Tyrone have his little moment, you know what I'm saying? But
I shut that moment down.
I'm an actual owner.
I'm an actual owner. This got shot down.
I'm an actual owner that is volunteering myself like an open track meet to go play. Okay, so I don't even have to do this. Like I just jump in when I want to. Like,
so if I heard y'all right, y'all are showing y'all greatest skills for free.
I'm sorry?
Right?
No.
You're showing your greatest skills for free.
No.
Like you get a medal. I mean, there is a medal in the end, I guess.
Oh, no, it's not for free because there's sponsorship with that. Like, don't play with it. And some things you just do for humanity, for the greater good of humanity.
Sometimes you got to coach some other people by example.
Y'all acting real funny right now. You out and you got a girl and y'all acting real funny and I'm not feeling that. Y'all better. What's the next question? Because these two right here, all of a sudden.
Next card. Get the next card, Jay.
You called me a whole hard head. You called me a whole hard
head. Hold on. We about to see how funny they really acting with this card right here, though. Okay?
Let's get it.
You find out that your significant other has been communicating with an ex. Would this bother you? And explain.
Let me take my ears out real quick. Stop playing with me.
First of all, let's flip this out. Let's flip this question around. If one of your ex's partners, significant others, found out they were still communicating with any of y'all, how do y'all feel?
Are you talking about the guys or just in general?
Everybody. Like if you've been communicating with your ex, right? How do you think their significant other might feel towards you and that communication?
Has there been communication? Has there been an explanation of the relationship with the ex yet?
That part.
Because I'm just saying, like, y'all are some gems. Like, if I was talking to any of your exes, I'd be like, damn, you didn't tell me you was talking to Cece again? Shit. Like, I would feel away. Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's you. Now, I feel some, like, ho-hum girl, I wouldn't even care. Be like, oh, are you bringing her canned goods to the pantry? Like,
I mean, I feel like if there's multiple means of communication, then, there's some type of emotional connection there. And if that is being kept from me, then there's a reason why that's being kept from me. So I wouldn't be upset that it's happening. I would be upset that it's being hidden from me. And I would want to know why it's being hidden. Like if you think I can't.
So what if she does tell you about it, then what? What if she tells you I'm talking to my ex? What's the next? Step?
We need to talk about what type of communication is going on, and why is it going on?
Would you want like a conference call? Like, would you want a conference call at that point?
No, we don't need no conference call. Like I feel like,
Tyrone, don't pay no mind to me, boy. You know I'm playing.
I'm cool with my ex.
She's like, put them on three-way.
No, I don't need a conference call.
So the way that I try to put it out is that there may be communication with my ex, and there's nothing there. Like there's absolutely nothing there. Like if I have chosen to be with you, then I've chosen to be with you. Now, there are situations where you try to minimize that communications, out of respect for, your current situation and respect for the ex, right? But, at this point, if we're adults, then, some type of communication should be okay. Just maybe not the constant communication.
I don't see nothing wrong with keeping in touch with your exes as long as there is no feeling and emotion tying y'all together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 32. I have an ex from when I was 18 in college, and he hits me up every now and then, maybe once a month, and just says, "Hey, how's it going? Hope all is well." Very respectful. And I wouldn't want whatever guy I'm dating to be like, "Oh, well, you can't talk to him." That was 14 years ago. Like, that's at this point, that's a college freshman type of situation. There should be nothing wrong with that, especially if I'm open with you about it. So I think there's levels to it. Now, someone like that I was in love with, you know what I'm saying? I was in love with and I just can't get over them. I don't need to keep in touch with them. There's levels to it. Like somebody like that, you got to break free, because you'll never be able to really have a healthy relationship with the next person if you're constantly holding on to the back person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all about how you found out. Like how you found out, you know.
Yeah.
Did you overhear something? Did they tell you, you know, were they hiding in the room talking on the phone? You overheard the person's name. It's all about how you find out, and then how they explain themselves, and like Tyrone said, the reason why behind it. They may have a reason that makes sense. You know, they may want to vent to that person because they know that they're having problems with you and they can't talk to you about it, but they want to get somebody else's advice. So hopefully somebody that's not biased that can give them some, you know, honest truth. So say, hey, you know, remember back when we were together, you would do that too, and I would react like that. So maybe don't do that anymore. Your man won't react that way. You know, that guy could be helping you out, but you don't know that. And so to jump to the conclusion, assuming it's a negative situation is wrong for you. So I'd rather hear the person out, hear the explanation behind it. If they're being shady or they're being funny about it, then I'm not cool with it. But I feel like if the person was your ex, they meant something to you at some point. They were a friend of yours. So if they're a real friend, whether you guys are no longer, since you guys are no longer intimate, they're still a friend of yours. I should be okay with allowing you guys to be some type of friendship, type of communication going forward. I'm not going to shut it down because I think it's a bit of insecurity in myself. I feel like you guys can't have any conversations that could be cordial and, you know, be respectful.
I don't know about running to the ex to talk about issues. I don't know.
I'm not going to talk about that.
That's not a good idea.
Well, I can.
Y'all got bad exes. Y'all got bad exes. So I good exes.
Maybe a family member, maybe, but
perhaps
any third party, anything.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this just for Stacy, and I have kids with the only ex that I have. If I ever speak to him, it's definitely charitable giving. It's like I'm doing my Christian duty. So ain't no man on this earth got to worry about him and any communications with that one.
What kind of ex did you got, Fernando? That's what we need to know.
He dropped off right in time.
E-A-R capital F.
He said I could talk to my exes. They're not gonna give you good advice, baby. They want you. They
won't have. Well, I don't have none. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to my exes for no advice, but we might talk about some other things. Sometimes some of my exes made better friends than relationships.
Well, that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but I'm not about to talk to you about my next. I'm definitely not about to do that.
But I think if that were the case, then your partner would already know, like, this is my friend. Like, this is the homie.
Yeah.
But I just don't do all that. And like I said, like, I'm one of those people where it's like very black and white for me. So I either deal with you or I don't. My ex, my one little straggly little raggedy ass ex, don't deal with him.
I don't talk to any of my toxic exes. I don't talk to exes that I can't say they still like me, but I still like. I don't talk to those during a relationship because it's kind of pointless. And it's kind of rude. Get it, Stacy. Get it. It's kind of rude to have those conversations when I'm dealing with my partner or whatnot. And if they find out that I'm talking to an ex, that's always going to be on some platonic stuff, some business stuff, something like it's not going to be, hey, big head, what you doing? I want to see you later on. Oh, I missed this. You're an ex for a reason.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Circle back. I will circle back.
He could be asking me for air.
He needs it. He got to keep around for the kids, Stacy. Come on.
I'm going to hold my breath so he can't get any of my byproducts.
Yo, the girl in the bottom right, take her off. Take her off. Take her off.
Take her off. Take that one off. Take it off. Take it.
Nah, yo.
Stacy know how to cut.
All my exes want me back, so I can't talk to them with whatever relationship I got going on.
I mean, Well, I mean, you know what? There's a whole category of people that I don't classify as an ex or my exes, but I'm still cool with them. I may have dealt with them, may have had relations, and we're all cool. But I don't like socially speak with, like if we speak, it's about, hey, how you doing, whatever, like on some friendly stuff, or we're passing, or like business owners. So I might send you business, you might send me business, like on a professional level, because clearly if it's somebody, like I said, it's nobody that I dealt with that I have bad blood with either. So I want all of my people to do well and to thrive. But it's just my only one little scraggly ass ex, the one that counts.
Listen, when they get to
I don't have no platelets for you. I know I'm type O. I can't give you no blood, baby.
Stacey, when it gets to a certain point, they don't become an ex. That there's an expiration date on an ex.
I know I'm almost there. I'm almost there. So scientifically, let me bust your head, Ty. Let me bust your head, Ty. So scientifically, our genes regenerate every 7 years. So my ex, it was signed, sealed, delivered by the judge, ordered 5 years ago, but really 6 years ago was the breakup. So I'm damn near on my 1 year with it. Well, I don't even know you. Sorry, I don't even know you.
She about to be born again.
No, you
Stacey
can't blame somebody forever.
I'm sorry, but there will be every part of me that never even knew you in 1 more year. Sorry for your loss.
Sorry to that man. Sorry to that man.
I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know that man. If I saw him walking across the street, I wouldn't even know him. I'm sorry, I don't know him. What can you say?
Follow-up question. Do you believe that it takes some energy for you to feel this way about him?
No, it doesn't take any energy. What it's taking for me right now is transparency to you guys and honesty to you guys. In my normal life, it's an afterthought. But what are we here for? We're talking about relationships and exes and all these deep feelings. So I would be doing a disservice to all of your viewers if I just sat here twiddling my thumbs, acting like this wasn't my truth. No, this is my truth. This is how I feel. I don't have not two thoughts blowing in the wind in my normal life. But if you want me to be transparent and you're asking me about an ex, I have one ex. I barely know he exists. And in 1 year, I never knew him.
Period.
And hopefully he don't catch on fire in that 1 year, because Stacey is not going to piss on him. So there we are.
Nope, no piss, no nothing. I'm not gonna throw alcohol or anything that's gonna, make the fire bigger. But at the same time, I don't know him. I'm sorry, I don't know him.
No. Well, there it is. All right, move it on. Next question. And I know, I don't know if anybody else has been married outside of Stacey on here, but this is still a good upcoming marriage question. You're getting married and you present your significant other with a prenup. They refuse to sign it. What happens next?
Nothing.
No marriage?
If you give me a prenup, I'm going to make sure my lawyers look at it and we're going to figure out a way to sign it. If I really love you, we're going to figure it out. But if you don't want to sign it, I own a business and shit. I've been at the lowest where I had to build myself back up from nothing. So that's a risk I'm not willing to take again. And, like you guys, I'm 40. So, I'm in another space of my life where I have to protect my assets. I have kids that rely on my assets for their adulthood, for them to survive. So yeah, you can't be mad at somebody for protecting their assets.
Mm-hmm.
And if all fails, look, the insurance agent in me is going to come out. And if all fails, if you have any problems with it, make sure in that ironclad prenup, you make sure you have a nice, amazing life insurance policy in there where you are the beneficiary and you're good.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, those are all good points. You have assets. You want to protect those assets. If someone's feeling some type of way about the prenup, then they need to, look within themselves and be like, what is making them want this prenup with me? Mm-hmm. So you want to bounce just because I came up with a prenup? There's a reason why I came up with it. So, boom.
I'm gonna leave on this one. I don't think I would present a prenup because I'm worried about the conflict that it could create. But listening to Tyrone, it makes sense. Like if I offer a prenup, she has a problem with it, maybe she questions, why am I giving it to her and why she has a problem with it. And depending on what business I have and assets that I have, I may need to give a prenup because I know what I came here with, and we come with the same thing. So I want to make sure that when I leave, get it, Stacey. I see you, boo. I want to make sure I leave with the same thing I came up with. I don't want to leave broke. And I see the settlements you guys are getting, like Bezos and everybody else. They're spending real money on these women when they do divorces. So it may be in my best interest to get a prenup. And I still love you the same way. But at the end of the day, I got a daughter, I got other things I have to protect. So I have to CYA cover my own ass. But I still love you. But allow me to cover my ass and, like I said, get a life insurance policy, sure. Get a Christian aid, you got it. Do it like that.
Yeah.
Y'all be good. Y'all be safe.
You too. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes,
have
y'all
fun.
Be safe, everybody. Yep.
Bye, boo.
All right, I'll hold it down, Fernando.
My man, hey, be honest, keep it 100, bro. You know how they do. Keep it 100 on
get jumped. He's gonna get jumped.
Tyrone can handle his.
Yo, people like
Tyrone like
this.
Hold it down. Texas is Texas is a 50-50 state, so you got to protect your assets here. You have to, because
regardless, 100% state. So
regardless of anything in the state of Texas, the laws were established to. I feel like they're very protective of men. The men in the state, the more affluent men. So in Texas, like even if you're an affluent man, like to protect your assets, you need one, because it's otherwise it's gonna be cut down the middle. And that goes for like people don't even think about like your 401k that's like out of sight, out of mind, like all of these other things. Like your ex will get half of your retirement, half of it. You were working at this job 10 years before you met them and married them.
Question for the ladies: how would y'all feel if your fiance presented you with a prenup?
I'll be like Stacey said, I'm gonna have my lawyer look over it. We're gonna negotiate or whatever. No, I'm serious. Like it's a whole much things. I'm not marrying you for your assets and stuff like that. But if you want to give me a prenup, then I'm gonna do my due diligence and have it looked over and see where the compromise for the things in there is. I don't even mind if the prenup says you leave with what you came with, and whatever we make during the relationship, we split.
Would you feel like he wouldn't trust you 100%, or would you feel like he may not think it'll work?
It would depend on the situation. If it's like with my current, he was married before. So I would just be assuming that he is under protection of making sure that his assets that he has worked up to build prior to me still in hand be his or whatever, because once you've been divorced before, you lose a lot going through that process or whatever. And there's a little bit of it that I don't want to do this again.
Well, the misperception is that prenups are only one-sided. The prenup has, allocations of funds and properties and stuff for the partner. So I think the important thing is just making sure that whatever, like the agreement between you two is in your best interest too. I think we get scared off when we hear prenup, but really, prenup means something for something else. Like, if something happens, this is what you get. So the part about like what you get and what you deserve, that's the part you need to negotiate about. Like the issue of a prenup shouldn't scare you off.
No. And if you like marrying Kelsey Grammer back in the day before his last wife, you had 5 years and you left with a severance package. It was like a job. So no, but it was that serious. That's how his prenups was set up. We married for 5 years, and at the end of that, you leave with a severance package that he's paying you out. And if you agree to it, you know what it is. What you mad about? So I don't know. I don't fear a prenup. That's what I don't. Go ahead, Stace. I mean,
Oh,
CC.
yeah, Cece,
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry, I was
I
talking.
mean, I wouldn't. For me personally, it wouldn't bother me to sign a prenup as long as my lawyers look over it. Because if I'm a businesswoman too, so if I'm making more money than my husband and I present him with a prenup, I try to put myself in both shoes. Like, have your lawyers look over it, but I make more money than you, so here we are. This is what we're doing. Or I have more property than you, or more, whatever it is. If I have more than that person coming into the relationship, then yeah, I just see both sides. I really do. It just has to make sense.
And listen, we all got kids prior to whoever we getting married to, and I have to have something for my child at the end of the day, whether it's what I made or whatever, or what we earned together as a relationship. So
right, and you know what? Something else people don't think about. Like for me, I come from a single parent, right? So my mom worked her ass off to have certain assets that, I'm like, later on in life, you become the owner of or whatever, the heir of. And so like those things like that are unfair for anyone to try to feel like they should have half of or a portion of. Like obviously I'm respecting my mom and our air property and our family and our history with certain things. So obviously I'd want to protect that. I have 3 kids that are deserving of these things and that I would want to see them take care of and have when they get older. And like as a single mom, my mom wants to make sure that not only like now that I'm grown, she wants to make sure she takes it upon herself to make sure that my kids are taken care of. Well, how are they taken care of? Because they're only minors is through me. So it would be unfair of someone to like take me to the cleaners for things that my children are the heir of. So I have no problem with it because I'm going to make sure to separate mine too.
I also look at it too, like God forgive we are in a hostile state when it happens, but if we are in a hostile state, it just makes it so much easier because we already know what assets is going where and all that, what is divided how or whatever and stuff like that. We don't have to spend so much time and lawyer fees and all that in court going over the extras with more money.
Emotionally stressed. Who want to be stressed about the business part of it? No.
Right.
Figure it out.
Okay. Ooh, this one's gonna be a good one for Tyrone. A woman receiving a woman is receiving child support, but her child is well taken care of. So she uses the money to buy nice things for herself. Is that inappropriate? And explain. Yeah, we waiting on you, Tyrone.
He act like he can't hear.
You can hear this shit.
Say the question one more time.
You heard it the first damn time.
I'm not gonna.
People in the back. For the people in the back.
I'm not gonna tell a woman how to allocate her money, right? So I just try to put myself in that situation. Paying the child support. I know my child is taken care of. I've done my part. You know what I mean? How she spends her money is on her. My child is taken care of. I have 0 issues on what she spends her money on.
You need to be my baby daddy then. Shit.
Like, they be thinking them little pennies.
I'm not gonna question her.
That's all my kids is play money. Are you playing with me?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. Like if there's an issue and my child is like lacking something, then maybe then I'll say something. But she's good. So I've been blessed to have my daughter's mom has been amazing. So I never had those issues.
There's some red bottoms I just saw the other day.
But then again, like I've always been doing my part as well. So
period. I'm gonna be honest.
I've never really questioned the money. I never really asked her how much, because in my mind I'm contributing to my daughter. So in the end, as long as my daughter's good, I'm good.
I'm not mad. I don't have this issue, so I can't really answer that question. Don't question me about how I spend my money. That's all I can say. Your kid is taken care of. That is all.
Right. Like that, like child support isn't come earmarked like child support, like, oh, because I bought this, you're gonna assume that's child support money. No, that might be a bonus I got. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
What the fudge?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, Chandra. Girl, I don't even want to talk about this because I just had, like, honestly, like, I was so stressed out last week because I had it's been like ongoing where my ex was trying to readjust his child support payments. And I was like, do you know what your kids do? Like, are you where? Like, you, like, sometimes I think that whether it's the man or the woman, who the parent that does pay child support, because I know some women, I mean, I know some men that do have custody of their kids where the woman does. So I'm gonna be fair here. But I'm like, as a parent, why would you even take a risk of jeopardizing your kids' future, what they eat, how they live, the activities they participate in, over however you feel, like, if it's not a legitimate hardship in your life to the other parent? That's crazy to me. Like, that's all the way crazy.
yeah.
But you reap what you sow, and that's how it goes, baby.
True this. True this.
Look, y'all, I gotta hop off because I gotta
right.
head back to DC. I'm in Richmond 2 hours away. I gotta get back to the city. So I gotta catch my train at 9 o'clock.
All right, my love. Thank you for joining us and cutting time out for us.
Thank you guys. Bye, Ty. Bye, Stace. Bye, Jay. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye. Be safe.
Yeah, I think that's just unfortunate. Like,
Yeah.
people be so, like, people have their priorities all wrong. Like, that's the kind of thing where you're more concerned with the other parent than your kids. Like, for me, it's nothing I wouldn't do for my children. So if it meant me as the parent that raises my kids, that have to school them, that have to do everything from sun up to sundown with them, and even when the sun goes down and one of them's sick and I have to be up all night with them and, you know, whatever, or I have to be, like, COVID, I had to be working in the middle of the night to catch up because I'm virtually, you know, I got to homeschool them. Like, I would never, I could never dream of taking food out of my kids' mouth. Like, not even for my own selfish reasons. So I just, like, that's one of those things that I just don't understand. Like, I think that parents get so caught up in the negative aura of their relationship with the other parent that they make their kids suffer. And I've just never been one of those people to be so hateful of someone that my kids will suffer.
Yeah. You know, I always, you know, I refused to never, you know, to not be there for my daughter. Maybe it's because my lack of, you know, my biological father being around. But I've seen, you know, family members go through situations where either, you know, the father is present but just don't want to do nothing, or just refuse to get a job because they don't want child support to take the money. I always felt like in the end, you know, no matter what, I am going to do my part, you know. So if she asked, my daughter's mom asked for something, you know, I provided. And like I said, I was blessed. So I know that she's not asking because she wants extra, right? She's, you know, if she even asks, she's asking because it's to support my daughter. And, you know, like every situation is different. And, you know, like in my heart of hearts, you know, I know that I'm doing what I can do. And I learned early because, you know, my daughter's mom was deployed for a year. So I was a single parent for a year. And I'm telling you, ladies, like, I had a newfound respect for being a single parent during that year, you know, because just going to a grocery store with the kids, I was like, how do you do this? like how? And to make it look easy, You know, you deserve more money. You know what I mean? Like that's what's, going through my head. So
Yeah, my situation's a little different because I never put mine.
Want to have a baby together? I think.
What happened?
She being silly again.
Oh.
You want to be my baby daddy? I mean, like, tell A she has full rights to the baby. Good. It's good.
No, because I've seen a stark contrast. Like, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but like, even my sister, like 18 years and nothing. You know, like I can't even fathom the fact that a dude wouldn't want to be present, first of all. And then second of all, to not contribute to your child's well-being. I cannot fathom that. But it's happening, you know?
When the child is a star, that's what they're going to try to be a part.
It happens, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It happens. So God bless all the moms who got to do what they do because...
Yeah, and for anyone that's listening, get that paperwork in. Get that paperwork in. Trust me. Get the paperwork in.
I'm partial to it. I'm not. If you have to get the paperwork in because they're just being a total deadbeat, I'm okay with that. I'm also partial to it, and it's probably because that way I did my situation. I put it up to him. As long as he's doing, I don't need the courts involved. I'm gonna leave it up to him because that's his relationship with his daughter, not me. Or whatever. So that's to him. That's his responsibility. I know, Stacey, yours is different because you guys were married. So legally, it's going to come up through the divorce and everything like that.
Yeah, it was part of the divorce.
Yeah, I just didn't want to deal with the court, deal with that, and be sitting here begging a person who would eventually find ways around it, either get an under the table job or do all these other things where it could just be more peaceful. And it's like, do for your child. And eventually where he didn't do, he had to do, because by the time she got into high school, he was full-time dad with her. And it don't call me for nothing. So I didn't have to pay for anything. She was taken care of with him while she was there. I was just send her money or whatever little stuff that I wanted to send her, but he's never called me for anything. So it was kind of balanced out for me in the end. But I know everybody doesn't get that so-called blessing from their partner. So if you got to go and get that paperwork in, by all means, do what you got to do or whatever. But some of y'all too, on the flip side, some of y'all women, because I had a cousin that had to go through this as a man, and he was paying his child support because my grandmother was making sure that it was paid for him. And he was trying to go into the Navy, and they eventually rejected him at first because it came up that he wasn't paying, until they had to pull up all of the receipts because she was lying to the courts, saying that she wasn't getting the money. So if y'all gonna be playing games with the man and just acting like you're gonna be taking the money and telling the courts a lie, don't do that either. Like, be stand up. If he not paying, be for real with it. Like, don't be over here playing games and stuff. So I don't know. Different story though. It had nothing to do with it. But I hope you the best out there. Your man, Shawn, that's not paying. I hope you can get it together, because he has 2 children. That is very trifling.
It's very trifling, and it's hard out here. Shit, these kids are expensive. And so Ty's experience is different because he actually had her with him. And I think that if some of these fathers, like, if they were involved in not even day to day, but if they get their kids every other weekend like they should, they will understand how much it takes to bring these kids and provide them a decent life. Like, for me, it's not even like, when I look at it, it's not even like, oh, you need to pay for your kid. It's about like, what type of lives do our children deserve to live? Why did we work hard? Why did our parents make sacrifices so we can have a better life, a different life to provide, a different life to our kids? And it's always hurtful to see, and this is not my walk of life, but it's always hurtful to see when, moms or dads are doing their very best to provide for these kids, and the other parent, not only are you not physically present, because I'm sure if you were physically present, you will understand and you will do what you have to do to provide for your kids, but you're not financially present. Like, you spend more. I mean, I see somebody in the chats, like, I'm sure your child's father spends more at McDonald's a month than they're doing for child support. So it's like, it's really like, this is a really like gut wrenching subject, because like, you really want more for your children. And I think that if more people were present in their children's lives, then the money part would make sense.
Yeah.
All the money part, that wouldn't even be a factor, because you would get it.
I'm with you on that, Sadie, because to me, how I looked at it, the money was the least you can do. The money was the least you could do, because mentally, emotionally,
that's the bare minimum.
That's the bare minimum that you can do, because mentally, emotionally, as a girl, my daughter needed her father more than anything. The money aspect was always going to be there. My family was going to be there. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. The money part was never the issue. It was, are you going to be there for her when she needs you? Emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, were you going to be there? And that's all I wanted to make sure. And we had that talk when I found out I was pregnant. It's like, that's what I need you in her life for. I don't need you in my life. I need you in her life for those reasons. Financially, I'm not going to stress you on that. If you are there, if you're present for her, I'm not going to worry about the financial part like that. However you get it done, you get it done. I don't care if your mama do it, your auntie do it, your cousins, whatever, do for her that. But mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, she needs her father. And not halfway. And if you're going to be a halfway dad, just check all the way out. So he had that option. And when he said he's going to be there, I held him to it. You got to be there. Ours was 2 different states, so it made it a little bit more difficult. But when he needed to be there, I can't say he wasn't.
Next card.
Hard
left here. Hard left over the bend here.
Yeah, like it's deep, because like I've experienced 2 different sides where, my sister for 18 years, got nothing, and then my brother, who's an ex-NFL player,
and he had to.
It was a totally different situation for him. So, yeah.
Prayers for you all that's going through it. Seriously, though, that's all you can do. Is like, when it don't work out the way it's supposed to, some hardships come. So I pray peace in all your relationships. Next card. You're in an official relationship with a person, but they repeatedly introduce you as their friend while at holiday family gatherings. Would this bother you? Explain. I'm trying to figure out how we official.
I'm trying to figure out how they got away with it after the first time. You said repeatedly?
Yes.
So somebody to main. You the main?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm
but
the friend, huh?
We still friends to the family.
I'm the friend, huh?
See, okay. I just feel like that doesn't apply to me, because I'm too damn grown for that shit, and it's not gonna fly with me. I don't even know how to advise on that, because I probably wouldn't go to the second family function.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't even talk to you anymore.
To be honest, I know I was in a situation like this, but because I kind of didn't really, it wasn't, to me in my head, it wasn't all the way official, because I didn't see a future with that person anyway. But it still bothered me to be introduced as a friend. And it's like, okay, I know we more than just, more than friends. Like, what the hell?
But doesn't that make you think like, oh, so you're just bringing anybody around your family?
Right.
So your family people, like, this ain't, I have no home here.
Right. Not a family looking at you all some kind of way.
Because my family, my family be waiting. They be like, when are you bringing someone home? When somebody worried?
I had a funny situation where, I introduced someone to my aunts as my girlfriend, and they laughed at her because they didn't believe me.
It's like your girlfriend, huh?
They was like,
Wow.
we ain't never seen this before. So they laughed. They laughed like, they was like, okay, whatever. And then they caught themselves like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. Come on in.
There goes that
But
one.
yeah,
That relationship done.
like if we're official, we've already had that talk. We've already communicated where we are, and you're still introducing me as, someone that's not as significant as I'm thinking. It's gonna be an issue. You get
Mhm.
one time where I correct it, where we talk about it. Second time where I'll be like, yo, this is the second time. If you do it again on that third time, it's really nothing I can do about that. Like
Because we official and private to me.
right. Like I'm not even significant to you subconsciously. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're still openly making these mistakes, knowing that we're heading to an event, knowing how I feel about, the introduction, and you still gonna do it. All right. It's time for me to
at that point, I'm kind of figuring like, I started overthinking a whole bunch of stuff and all, and I'm thinking like, okay, so you done got me confused with another person you bringing over here. You don't know who you got with you right now. Like, you got so many people in your life.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they know. Like how do I say it? Like I've had a situation where, you don't want to introduce because you don't know how the person that you're introducing them to is going to react.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't introduce, it's an issue. Do you know what I mean?
Now,
So
here's the
that's
thing.
how I normally carry it.
Yeah, here's the thing with that same person I was referring to that had that situation. Some of his family members, he introduced me as his girl, but then you'll get around friends and it'd be like, oh, this my friend.
Yeah.
And I was
That
just
means
like,
you don't.
okay. Yeah, it's like, oh, certain family members, it'd be like, oh, this is my girl. So you're playing me right now because you're trying to make me feel like I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we get to people that you either look up to or hold some value in your life, which is your friends, I'm your friend again. I'm just a friend.
Yeah, might be time to make moves.
Mm-hmm.
Time to make moves.
Yeah, exactly. The disrespect. We are strangers. The salsa don't be playing. She'll cut you off real quick.
No, these are some good questions, Jay.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I like these things because it's like I don't have to really think about it,
Yeah,
but they good questions and stuff.
Yeah, I could flow through these quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got some for you and AC Poo. Don't worry. Some
At
after
this
dark.
stage in my life, I feel like.
But
Some after dark stuff.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
I feel like I'm sorry, I had to go to the restroom. But I feel like sometimes people be vetting you too. Like sometimes they'll bring you around certain members of their close friends to vet you. Like, like if this is somebody you're feeling, but you're not sure, like, how it would mesh with your life and your friends and everything, and you bring them around a certain circle, and you're like, all right, what's y'all's feel before I bring them to the names? You know what I mean?
So I think that's you telling us how you feel about them. If you gotta vet them.
Well, I mean,
but I do understand the vetting though.
For everybody, for everything.
Yeah, I'm saying I do understand the vetting process.
I'm not take anybody home to mama.
You're right. I do understand. Like there's like a few phases. There's a group of friends you got to make it through.
Yeah, it's a level when you're just unsure. Like I don't know how this person fits in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for me, if you make it to the family vetting process, that's like the final boss. You know what I mean? You don't get no training. I'm not gonna help you. There ain't gonna be no, any type of pre-consultation.
No.
You getting thrown into the fire, and if you make it out,
have you pushed Ace into the line?
Probably work. No,
I'm gonna be honest.
Have you pushed Ace into the line yet, Tyrone?
We are at the phase where there's really nothing left except my brother and the family.
And your mom.
We met some friends. We met my mom.
Well, that's a whole. I know what phase your mom is at, so we ain't even there yet.
Yeah, my mom.
Your mom's like your wife.
Honestly,
it's an engagement.
Yeah, honestly, my mom said, Ty, at this point, don't even tell me until 6 months after the wedding.
Oh shit, Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tired of burnt his
yeah.
bridges with his mama.
Using that mama card. Clearly,
He
you one of
says-
the ones that use that mama card too heavy in your past.
No, it's just that my mom said like she's like it's not fun, to lose people when you start caring about them, and you've been in relationships that haven't worked.
Well, I'm gonna just tell y'all, my family crazy. So that's gonna be the last people y'all meet, because I gotta know you rolling with me heavy before you meet my crazy. Like I need to know you a ride or die. Like you ain't going nowhere before you meet them. Them,
Yeah.
And I mean they gonna love you and gonna ride for you, and they are gems. So I know anybody I introduce to them gotta be around. Gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
This ain't no fly by night stuff to me, my family, because my family are everyone. I have like a crazy real family. So everyone is gonna love you just because I brought you home. Doesn't matter all the bullshit. They're gonna absolutely love you and ride for you. So I know I can't waste anybody on them. So I might, you might meet my friends if you even get to meeting my inner circle.
True.
And I think like for me, maybe because Ty, I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, Ace is different because she went through the same experience that we did. But now that we've been on a dating show, it's just like, I really got to vet you people, because you can be selling me the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And and you won't even have a puddle to jump over.
Right.
Yes. It's definitely made me more selective. I can say that.
That's good, because I feel like some of y'all just be getting whatever slide in your DMs.
Hey.
Yeah, I was so like checked out of social media, like
Allegedly.
Here we go.
Allegedly, some of them is living their best life. Allegedly,
some of the maintenance is done turned up to a whole mechanics.
oh Lord, they done became independent contractors.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't. If I hear something, it's probably I'm probably 2-3 months behind, but
Hey,
good for them. I mean,
DMs
I'm 45. I was one of the older people of the crew, so
and look at that good skin. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I've lived that. You know what I mean? I'm not in my early 30s no more, so my selection process is different.
Listen, I said it. Y'all read it,
baby. My tea.
I ain't saying nothing on that.
The shade.
More power
What
to them.
you got for us, Jay?
Okay, so this one's a good one. A woman agrees to forgive her cheating significant other under the condition that she gets a free pass to have sex with a person of her choosing. He is furious at this suggestion. Does he have a valid reason to be upset?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you forgave him, you forgave him.
Exactly. That's
but it's under, the forgiveness. The forgiveness is under one condition, though.
Then it's not forgiveness.
Right.
That's just gonna make it. That's gonna just make it worse, because then you're gonna that tit for tat shit. It don't work. It don't work in relationships. It doesn't.
I always say that, like to purposely try to hurt me or to purposely plot to get me back on something, like we ain't gonna work.
And that would be on purpose.
This is definitely on purpose.
Right. I'm only gonna go sleep with someone because you slept with someone. That's stupid.
Yeah.
To me, how I think.
Never ending story.
Yeah. Forgive me or leave me.
Open the marriage on up. Let's everybody let's just have a hold down.
Right. You either forgive me or leave me. And even if you bring it up again, I'm gonna probably be upset that you brought it up again.
How I look at this situation, and I look at it from my end. Say a man is forgiving me for doing it, but he was like, "Oh, I wanna be able to have sex with a person of my choosing." To me, you already had that in mind. you probably already did it. That's how I started looking at it. Because my tit for tat is on that. Is you probably already did it and you're trying to circle back to that person already again or whatever, or you already have this in the works. You already have the situation in the works because it's a person of your choosing on top of it too. Oh nah.
That's somebody you already been talking to. And you probably already been smashing.
And so that's where my fear and my aggression and my hostility would come from that thought right there. And it might not even be true, but in my head, I'd have created that whole story like, oh, this is somebody you already want to smash. So you already sound like you did it. So and I'm gonna flip the whole thing. It'll be no longer about me cheating.
Are you a Virgo?
I'm on the cusp. I'm a Leo Virgo. I'm the last day of Leo.
Yeah. You know, we some damn thinkers over here. We overanalyze.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. I'll be over here.
Chances are you've already met the person your mate's gonna cheat on you with.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's why, and in my head, I'd be like, so you already been plotting, so you sound like you did it already, and it'll be no longer about me cheating. It'll be about you planning on cheating. So.
Well, in my marriage, so when I found out he was cheating, right, I was like, well, I mean, if you need other things, I mean, we've been together so long, like, do we need to open up our marriage? Because shit, I'm still deficient at this point because you spending your energy elsewhere. That was shut down. So I was just like, all right, then we need to get a divorce because what's the purpose?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like in some. That's not the time frame that it happened, but ultimately. Because, you know, like sometimes we try to make especially if it's a marriage or a super long-term relationship or if you have kids, you try to make it work and you try to fill the inadequacies and you try to figure it out, right? And it might not make any logical sense to anyone else, or it might not even make any logical sense to you 6 months later. Because I was looking at myself 6 months later like, bitch, you really just said, did you really say? But you know, when you're trying to make stuff work, you try to make it work. And the fact that, you know, after we got to a certain point, and I was just like, I don't even want him to touch me. Like, I don't want to be with this person anymore. Then it was time to call it quits because I'm not going to cheat on you. If I ever feel like I need to cheat on you, then we don't need to be together.
That's how I feel. If I get that notion that I need to cheat on you, that means that you're not the one for me. You're not holding my attention strong enough. And don't get me wrong, there'll be some temptations out there, but if I keep having this thought like I want to entertain these temptations, then you're probably not doing it for me. The sauce doesn't hurt my bag.
Michelle, Jesse, no, I didn't ignore shit until he was over it because that's probably why he's still bitter, is because he still wants it. So don't try me. Don't do that, sis or sir or whoever.
The sauce is in her petty bag.
Next question.
We move it on.
Wait,
we move it on.
The salsa
she's in her petty bag.
Because we're really at that age, like your dad, you are your son. Like I'm at that golden age where it's whatever. I don't have to clear up shit.
Okay, moving on, y'all. Keep it cute. Keep it cute. We like to have fun time up here.
We've been having great dialogue. Everyone's been great, and then all of a sudden, here we go.
Don't let it get to you, babe. All right. A man has 2 children. He teaches the boy to use a condom if he has sex and teaches the girl to not have sex. Is he wrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, you leaving your daughter open to being taken advantage of, but you're showing your son how to protect himself.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely got to teach them both about protection. You know what I mean? Treat them the same. You know, they're both going to get older. It's going to happen. They're both going to have those feelings. So if you treat them differently, it's going to end up different. My father definitely treated us differently. So I definitely wouldn't have that same approach. You know what I mean? My father dropped me a magazine at 14?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe earlier than that, maybe 13. It was like, hey, I'm about to go to the store. Get to know yourself. And he would still, to this day, my sister's a grandmother and still would not have that discussion with my sister.
Right.
So, yeah.
That my dad and my family is as soon as you enter womanhood, we having the whole talk, because this is the responsibilities now of what can happen now that your body has changed. So it's not, no, we about to shun away. And I get it. My stepmom is more conservative because that's who I was raised with. She's more conservative. She comes from that background. So talking to us girls, she wasn't happy about my dad doing it. But my dad is like, my children are my children. I'm gonna treat them all the same, and they need to know about these things.
Yeah.
They're gonna be out in the world. It's gonna be happening. I'm not gonna sit here and tell the boys one thing and tell the girls something else. And he knew. I would assume he knew, that especially with me, I'm kind of rebellious. So you tell me no, I got to go find out why to know. I need to know why you telling me no.
But,
I mean,
oh, go ahead, Ty. I'm not gonna.
No, I'm saying my daughter's almost there. I'm dreading that conversation, but I know that I have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just part of the process for me.
Yeah.
Well, because I have an older son, and he's the eldest, and we have conversations with him about dating and stuff. My girls, are pretty. Well, my older daughter, she has a pretty good idea of things. And we have an open dialogue to where we talk about things. Now, I think in this, as far as the question is concerned, to act like something, to pretend as though something doesn't exist and think that will protect your daughter, that's just an absolute, like failure as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that, if you teach a girl, and this goes back to those dated ways of having women not accept their sexuality and having women not own their bodies. That goes back to that whole mentality. If you pretend as if, if I don't talk to her about sex, she's not going to have sex. No, if you don't talk to her about sex, she's going to get pregnant. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
Or some older guy's going to tell her she's pretty and take advantage of her, and then you're a grandpa. Meanwhile, your son is covered and knows how to use a condom. There's a win for you. Like, I just think and especially coming from a dad, men know how men are. And I feel like it's always beneficial to a woman or a young lady to hear, listen, look, everybody's not going to be like me, baby. Everybody's not going to hold your hand and walk you through life and protect you like I do. This is how men really are. It doesn't matter how many times your mom tells you that. When your daddy says it, that's that thunder. You know what I mean?
I also look at it as a man, you're doing your daughter a disservice, because granted, you're teaching your son how to be appropriate with women, but a lot of boys that are encountering your daughter may not have that same respect level or training in their background. So her not even knowing how to respect herself or to even know how to have a man put a condom on properly is setting herself up for failure. So I would say you're doing your daughter a disservice in the long run if you're not telling her the same thing. I would sit them both down, especially if they're close at the same age. We all about to learn this today. This is what y'all need to know. This is how it needs to go. If he tells you that he don't know how to put one on and you still want this thing, here you go. You know how to put it on yourself.
All right.
It's like don't hide this stuff from your children. I got that I learned through experience and watching people, and I used to watch my cousin be so sheltered growing up, and as soon as she got any inch of freedom, she bucked out. She was wild or whatever, and I was like, I had a lot of freedom, and I didn't want to do a lot of things just because I had the freedom.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right, this will be the last one. I'm not gonna keep y'all much longer up on here because we done did a good 2 hours of good conversation already.
Oh, I mean, it was good, girl. This was good.
We're gonna come back to this again and stuff, but because I do like this little intermission break. All right, last one. Your significant other surprises you with a home cooked anniversary dinner. You take one bite and it's nasty AF. How would you handle the rest of the feast? This is a fun one to end on.
Yo, on my anniversary, they put in the effort to make me some food. That's the best food I tasted all week.
I ain't mad.
I'd be like, damn. I might be a little sarcastic with it, so they know. You know what I mean?
Is you gonna make it through the whole plate though?
I still try to appreciate it. I'll try my best. You know, I would. I know Stacy wouldn't, but go ahead.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. If you ain't ever cooked for me before, don't cook now for an anniversary and think I'm gonna like it. No, buy me a gift. No. And I'm one of those. So I know, like, maybe this is tacky of me. I don't know. But I'm one of those people where, like, everything shows on my face, like, how I'm feeling. So it's really hard. And I told y'all know, I'm a Virgo. I'm black or white. So it's very hard for me to fake the funk, especially if it's, like, on my tongue palate. And I'm a cooking girl. So I like to cook. And so I'll probably be like, I'll add humor by choking on it like I'm about to die. I'll add humor by acting like I'm dying eating it. But that's the most you're gonna get. I'll be like, oh my god, I'm allergic to coconut. Like,
I can see that.
I can see that.
Stacy, now okay, so I'm a chef, so you already know it's gonna be hard to sit here and try to serve me something terrible in the first place but I'm from the South too, so you already know we don't play with our food, Stacy. I can't even go to half the restaurants in New Orleans and not be critiquing their food. But I will commend him on his efforts. We're gonna laugh it out. And we're gonna order something we both can tolerate. Because if I can't tolerate, I know he definitely can't. Like, to sit through it. I'm not gonna make him suffer through his own food either. But I'm gonna definitely appreciate his work. We're gonna laugh about it, and we're gonna keep the night rolling. I'm definitely not gonna ruin our anniversary over the meal, though. I don't want an argument or whatever. I mean, if he's just dead set on me eating it, I'm gonna try not to throw it up. But my stomach is like, if I can't tolerate it.
Yeah, no. I mean, cooking is my love language. So blessed be the guy that's ever tasted my food.
Let me do it.
Tyrone is all the way in Space Jam. So I'm gonna do it for you because you're gonna catch it.
Tyrone is just not trying to mess up that dessert. He's trying to get that word.
No, I mean, you said it right. I think I'll commend them on the effort of trying to put something together, but still, like, make a joke about, whatever was nasty. Like, these.
Yeah, I would say, oh, thank you, baby. I see today you wanted to kill me and take my life insurance policy.
I'll be like, baby, you updated that insurance policy, didn't you?
Yeah. You have
who made these pancakes?
To give me the. Y'all remember the Martin episode when he thought Gina was trying to poison him?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's like how we. Like, I would be. Y'all know my dumb ass. I would be like. I would like my extra dumb ass. Like, I would be making it hilarious. Anything to not eat the food, because I would be like,
yeah, that's why I'm
like, I still see Mama Payne saying, "Turn over the note."
Yeah.
From that Martin episode. Turn over the note. I'm a Martin fan, so I know.
I know what you're talking about. I watch Martin every night. Like, Martin is my.
Right. No, I know that it's hilarious. But I definitely will make light of it and joke my way out of it or whatever. But I would be very, very appreciative of the try.
But because I just know I'm so ignorant. I would probably like strip down and get butt naked and mush it all over my body and be like, now you eat it.
We just gonna change the subject. I ain't even hungry, baby. I just want to get to the room. Let's go.
You eat this nasty shit. Go through this nasty stuff and get to the good stuff. I was gonna say some dumb stuff like, you can't say me.
Like, baby, this is an episode of Fear Factor. What we doing?
Hold on, let me put some roaches on this because that's the only people that want to eat this shit. They got some black flies anyway. Them little black flies that be around the garbage cans. That's who want to eat this shit. Put them over here. This Fear Factor, baby.
Right, but I definitely agree. We making sandwiches now. We gonna eat some sandwiches and we're gonna enjoy the rest of our night. That's what we gonna do, baby. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
And if the food was that nasty, he probably can't even make a sandwich right. No, order DoorDash.
Look,
Right.
Somebody will take your mushed up. Give him the naked mush, please. He'll probably mess up. Look, he probably mess up the food on purpose so you could just push it all yourself.
Here, mush, come through the trash to get through the treasure.
He gonna ruin the food on purpose just so you could push it on him. That's so terrible. All right, guys. All right. That is the last question for the night. We're not going to hold ourselves any longer. We had a very good time and fun. And we're going to put these. We went through about a good 10 cards today. We're going to put these to the side for the next time we don't do those again. But you guys want to get your own sets. There's different types of conversation cards that you guys can get. I put a link down in the description box already, so you guys can order all kinds. They're for relationships, for loving yourself. So we're going to get into all these different cards as we continue, because I like these questions that they give. They are very thought-provoking. We do have great dialogue off of them. To my guests, I want to say thank you all. Fernando and Cece, I know you guys are not with us no more. And Tyrone and Stacy, who is still here. Thank you guys for being with me today and going through this with us. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Do you guys have anything you want to promote before we get off of here?
No, I just want to promote all of you all. Live your best lives. Life is too short. Y'all got to go get it. And be true to yourselves and just be honest with you. Like, don't stop feeling like you are responsible for other people's happiness and all of that. Like, go and take life by the horns and live it or ride it. Whatever you do with them horns, however you hop on it.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that question mark.
Yeah, just one thing. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. I am an advocate of mental health. My mental health journey pretty much played out on national TV. I do have a YouTube channel where I discuss mental health. We're going to have a conversation tomorrow at around 2. I haven't officially announced it yet, but it's going to be about, how I addressed PTSD and anxiety and what I did to overcome it. And I plan to have some guests.
Well, that was pretty official. I haven't officially announced it, but let me officially announce it.
2 is Eastern. Okay,
so I guess it's the same. Yeah, it's
11. That'll be 11 my time. Okay, so that'll be 11 PST. Okay.
Yes, 11.
Yeah, so I'll tune in while I'm at work. I'll be at work, but I'll tune in.
Stacy don't let nobody slip, man.
No, she don't. She's good. She's quick on her feet.
I'm gonna be so happy, like, if we're on a panel and it's about the Miami, because I don't know them, and chances of me seeing them is slim. So,
but then we could be real. We could be real again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my opinion will be different. But I'd be trying to be diplomatic, and then Stacy be like, "Come on, come on,
Ty, you lying."
Here, I'll put Tyrone.
Look, I have to keep us honest. I have to keep us honest, real, because you be too nice, and I know, like, sometimes, like, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm super nice, so.
Tyrone is Tyrone Wilson 21 on all platforms.
But Ty, I think you be cheating us sometimes when you don't give us, like, your full vantage point, because, like, of a lot of people that, you and I, we've sat on a lot of panels together. And we've never met you guys. I don't even know if I could recognize Ty in real life. He probably wouldn't recognize me in real life. He'd probably look over me because I'm so short. But like, I feel like for you have so much to offer, especially because you don't mansplain things, you know, that I don't want you to cheat yourself or us out of like what knowledge you have to offer. So I just be having to keep your feet to the fire because you be playing.
Yeah,
Your ass be playing.
I feel like I'm being harsh most of the time, especially on the fellas. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm really being harsh.
Them. It's probably because you know them and are around them. That's probably why you feel like you're being harsh.
I probably met everyone maybe once or twice, but I only had a conversation with maybe 1 or 2 people. But I'm literally just going by off of what I'm seeing on the screen, and I'm like, you know,
yeah, like you be filtering what you see on the screen.
Huh?
Yeah.
You be like, he be like,
if anything, me and Stacey definitely be harsh. We be straightforward.
We get a lot of heat for being straightforward. I mean, like the last panel we were on, they were like, okay, the 2 men, women. I was like, damn, Jamie, you men.
Yeah.
We mansplaining.
We mansplain. Ty. So Ty, go ahead and gingerly
right.
give your opinion.
Right. And here's the bad part about it, Stacey. When Ty said something, they was like, Ty said the same thing we said. They was like, yes, we agree.
Oh my God, Ty. Oh my God, say it again in your narrator voice. Say it again in your sexy narrator voice for me. Please. You need to be the next Allstate man that's like, hey, next guy is on by your side. Like, come on.
Like, what? He just literally said the same thing I just said.
I'm gonna write another book, and I'm just gonna let Ty do the virtual reading of it.
Right.
Oh man, hilarious. I would do that.
Well, y'all enjoy your Saturday nights, friends.
For sure.
What up, friends? With a D on it, not friends that you can't invite around your
y'all friends. You guys have a great night in the chat. You guys be safe out there. There's a lot of craziness going on right now in the world. Prayers to those people in Buffalo, New York right now that just had their bit of craziness earlier today and stuff. And just be safe out here, people. You know, we want to see you back in these chats having more good conversations later. Until then, keep your glasses full and your minds even